PVZ time. And we are going to start off in the bottom left with our red Protoss player. This is Nice.
We're on Dynasty. This player didn't veto this map, so Misaki, show me some magic, mate. This map is meant to be pretty grossly Protoss favored. Show me what you got. In the top right, it's Misaki, playing for teams so far away. I cannot wait to see what he's got in store, because this map is, well, we're doing a 14 gas, 14 pool. Is it? Is that what we're doing? Yeah, he's rallied that drone to that spawning pool. What the?
Okay.
What the? This is a bizarre opening. And interestingly, Nice is walling the front. A lot of people wall the front but still take the gold. So then they just get the third base for free. I do think Protoss naturally has an advantage because the gold base, you know, being easy to take and then being able to harass with things like oracles. You can't really harass the gold base if they have flying units, right? You get over there with like an early a couple of roaches, there's a void ray overhead or a few oracles, you know, unless you move queens over there as well, it's very tough. Whereas Zerg taking the gold base is incredibly vulnerable to adept harass, and it looked like he wanted to go that direction, but seeing the probe, he changes his mind. Misaki does go to the front side, and we'll just take that hatchery there.
Alrighty, so he puts the hatchery down in that low ground position and just switches that up that little bit, and again just kind of playing around what his opponent is seeing, playing around where his opponent is at. Just little things for the moment, as we do see the cyber core and the nexus and everything coming through as well. So Nice just getting set up. He's also not going to take that gold, not going to take that risk of pointing it out on the map as we take another gas.
Oh,
okay.
What? Okay, so is this Swarm Host Nidus? Is this Mutilus? Is this just straight to Hydra's? Misaki is doing something incredibly cheeky, and he cannot let Nice see this lair. 8 more lings on the way. Wait, are we just ling flooding? You don't have link speed. What?
It's the lair ling flood. Pig, it's something new.
It's a slow Zergling ling flood where he's just going to use dropper lords to ferry them in the base. He'll start ling speed, right, with his next 100 gas? Yeah, ling speed. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so he's going to elevate lings in. He'll drop on the top left of next to the natural, and he'll elevate straight into the gold base. Come in from both sides. Maybe not on the top side, maybe just the bottom. If you hold position the Overlord right on the ledge, you can load into it from the low ground and unload on the high ground. You need to be in the perfect position to do it, though. You could do it over the gold minerals or over that ledge. But that's basically it. It's just a ling flood all in. And Nice is already sensing, like, dude, you went for a super early pull. Nidus Worm as well. Oh, my lord. All in of all ins, mate. I don't know. That is a super, super vicious move. But Nice is in survival mode right now. Nice is not taking any chances.
This is like 3 all-ins for the price of 1 or so, you know? It's it's getting a bit crazy up in here. Nidus, finally the link speed going to be coming through. We're gonna send in a couple of moments and just try to go for this.
Losing that Overlord.
Yeah.
It kind of checkmates this build though, right? And now this Overlord being, you've got vision, you just can't. You have to run up to the wall. You have to just throw it on his face. He can just pull probes. Yeah. So this is a very good hold by Nice. I think Nice really showed good scouting info. The moment you see like a 14 pull, you don't take any chances, and that's exactly what Nice did. Shield battery, non-stop gateway unit production, shuts down the Nidus, and Misaki will have to tap out. Great hold by Nice. Really good scouting and response, and I think Misaki just got a bit cheeky trying to fly that Overlord across the gold into the back. The moment that got found, it's like, oh no, why'd I move that Overlord over there? Because if he doesn't do that, you've got such extreme different areas you can throw the Nidus. You're going to get it up. And Nice will have to micro very well in his main and his natural to survive. But the Overlord goes down and it's a checkmate.
Yeah. Cool idea. But sometimes proper scouting just kind of kills it. And that's very much so just what happens. The scouting was there. The scouting was good. And that is going to be that. So,
indeed.
Get ready for
I love it, man. I don't know. It's cool to see something like that mixed in. I do think it's a tough, awkward map, but what was smart about that is like, hey, you can't cover all 3 bases, right? With that front low ground wall off. So it did make sense. I would have liked to see the elevator as well to lead into it with the Nidus more as a reinforce personally. I do think the elevator's more budget. It hits harder, it hits faster, it's harder to stop. It's just a bit harder to execute as the Zerg. So kind of a bummer that he didn't go for that in my opinion. But you know what? It's you know, it's a throwaway. It was the map like I said, it's really bad for Zerg. So what are you going to show us? The problem is that when you let a map that's favored against your race through, your opponent's like, I better scout for all ins because I know he doesn't want to play a standard macro game on a map that's so favored for my race.
No, you don't want to be playing the macro game in that sort of situations. We're going to go to Oceanborn, by the way, for map number 2. So we're going to get that one readied up here. Get this started up in just a second and see whether or not Misaki will have something to show for us against Nice. I mean, again, feels like a tough matchup, feels like a tough time. Guess we'll see what's going to go down. As I mean, I would imagine he's going to have something kind of stored up for us, right? Something a little bit different. I can only guess.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen a lot of Misaki's play, so obviously suffering against the hellbat timings from Oliveira yesterday is a rough one, but it's Oliveira. What do you expect? It's, you know, you got to cut some corners and sometimes you get called out. I do think, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what you can bring because Nice can play very turtly. He can also lean into the aggression. And after that last game, I wouldn't be surprised if Nice, I mean, back in the day, he was a big fan of Core before Nexus in PvZ, and he just like chrono those 2 adepts over so early and look for crazy damage, and bam, there's an Oracle behind it, and his third base, he'd be happy to delay to 5 minutes, which is really weird in PvZ. You'd be like, oh, that's a late third, and it's like, well, yeah, the man sacrificed 6 adepts in and killed 23 drones, and his 2 Oracles have killed a queen, and like, you know, so Nice might do that, and I think that's a very good way if you feel you're stronger than your opponent, or you can out multitask them, for a Protoss player to really lean on their opponent and force mistakes.
Like we said, it's going to be Oceanborn. We can get the map loading up right now. Can Misaki have some sort of an impact? He's not had a great set of games. I mean, when he played against Oliveira, he kind of just died to Hellbats a couple times. He built drones, and drones did not help him fight off the Hellbat attacks. So we will see what we'll see how this goes down as we ready up game number 2. It is going to be in the bottom right-hand corner. The red Protoss player. It is Nice at a 1-0 lead.
And in the top left, in the blue, tried a cheesy game 1. Didn't quite work out. Time to reset. It's map 2 for Misaki. Whenever you or anyone of us introduces and we go, it's nice, I always hear it in Cyril's voice from 2017.
Yeah.
You know, up there on that stage. How does it feel to be in your first finals? It's nice. It's like, okay.
Yeah, nice.
This is one of my favorite pro gamer responses.
Classic, especially in the StarCraft 2 scene at this point, right? Just the Cyrilisms of the world.
Yeah, it's always cool to see as well because Cyril was so young then, and now he's always got a bit more banter. He's always a bit more joking in all of his interactions, having a bit of fun, as are all the players. We've seen them all kind of grow up in front of us. Nice players had some fantastically exciting matches. I mean, a couple Katowices in the world in a row. Nice versus Spirit, I remember being just one of the craziest series ever. Like, so Nice had some kind of qualifying, getting close to qualifying to groups at Katowice for a few years in a row and playing some of the craziest games getting there. Nice is kind of funny because like he's so much better at macro than Haas, but then he'll just switch gears when he thinks like his opponent's like a bit of a favorite and just play like Haas, basically just do the dirtiest, cheekiest, cheesiest builds. So Nice, I feel like, yeah, he's a man of extremes. Extremely good defensive player, extremely aggressive in your face play. He can do it all to a certain extent, and it does really depend on what he thinks will work best in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, no, it's I actually always felt as though Nice was really able to develop more than Haas, and then he really did become that overall kind of just stronger player, right, than Haas, and ended up kind of being, you know, better than him. That's why it was cool to see Haas kind of popping a little bit at the start of this, at the start of today and or earlier today, and just seeing him kind of winning the game and just already being 1-0 in the group was kind of neat. So I like that as we get ourselves this setup underway.
Yeah, Nice truly surpassed him against Zerg and Terran, like by far, I would say. Way more consistent, but in PvP, Haas is always kind of like, he'd lose 2 seasons to Nice, and we'd be like, oh, Haas is done, Nice is the new king, and Haas had beat him like 2-3 seasons in a row, and we'd be like, okay, never count Haas out in the PvP, you know? And Nice, you could see, would be frustrated, because he'd be like, I don't think this guy practices that hard. Like, you know, I practice so many hours every day, and I've memorized my builds, and Haas drags me into deep water and always finds a way to be about 50% versus me in head-to-head, no matter how much effort I put in. It's a frustrating thing, but you know, StarCraft's about many different factors. It's such a wide-ranging set of skills that you can reach into as a player. Now, third base is on the way, but lots of gas being mined by Misaki, and that to me is very peculiar because it's why have we not pulled off gas? Are we rushing Lair for Hydras? It kind of feels like a Mio Micah build.
Yeah, and you don't even rush the Lair. You're just like, you're going to get the Lair at some point, but it's like not a rush. It's just you want so much gas later on. when the Hydras come through, so guess we will
yeah. This
see.
feels exactly like that sort of style, doesn't it? Like the lair and the second gas go down. Basically, like, I'm going to have 4 lings, 3 queens, no extra queens, creep tumors for losers. I'll get like 1 creep tumor because why would I spread creep? There's no way it can get to the other side by 6 minutes when my Hydra timing's going to hit. And you know what? Void Ray's kind of not great against Hydra timings. It doesn't really do a lot of damage against Hydras or lings. Third Nexus, you know, it feels like this is good against Ling Floods, what Nice is doing, you know, having the Void Ray and the depths for safety, but needs to get wind of what's going on because these Hydras are going to be hitting so early in the game, assuming it is Hydras. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be. Spy is an option. Nidus Ling, again, off more workers is technically an option as well. But Misaki is definitely a cheeky player. I'm getting a sense that Misaki, playing against Nice in this matchup, does not want to play a straight-up game.
No, I get the feeling of that as well. Hydra Den dropping down, all the Lings coming up. He just wants to send it. He wants to do something cheeky. He wants to be aggressive. This is becoming very apparent what the plan is going to be. As you have our Lings going to get us around.
Yeah, I don't think it's a great trade though so far. These Adepts are slaughtering him. The Void Ray has done so much. Like, yes, the Adepts will go down, but if you don't get the cancel, I don't think it's particularly worth it as the Zerg, usually. That being said, if you can stop like batteries getting up for your Hydras, that's good. It just feels like the Hydras are a bit later than you would like. They're only starting at 5 minutes. He does need more damage with these Lings. Getting the batteries killed would be great. No cancel on that one. The battery is taking a lot of damage, but the Adept positioning solid. And dude, this is a lot of Lings into the meat grinder. This is not cheap. Yes, he's doing damage, but the Oracle is making it expensive. Not to mention the Void Rays. New batteries go down immediately. There's more Lings here, but there's only like 7 Hydras coming. I don't even know if that's enough to overwhelm the Void Rays.
No, it doesn't feel like it, right? And with Glaives on the way as well, I feel like Glaives is such a perfect setup against this because you're just going to have the DPS against Hydras, the DPS against Lings. You are going to be absolutely popping, so that feels fantastic as another battery or so comes through. He just gets into position already. Get hold of that set. And
scary moment. First Hydras are scary, man. You just remember the Lings do, I mean, the depth count, the Glaives isn't here. Battery overcharge, though, forces him back. Good pullback. He wants that Hydra. Does tap the Hydra. Nice with a bit of focus fire there. But he's got more Adept swapping in. Shades are finished. And even without the battery anymore, that's a lot of Adept Void Ray. Nice is down about 20 army supply. Oh, he leaves his door open. Nice move by Misaki. Misaki ain't going to go down without a fight. He is attacking the Twilight Council with quite a few Lings, though. Not really doing quite as much as he could have. A few probes go down in the natural. 6 probes falling. The Hydra Ling on the front. Hydras do find themselves a Void Ray, or at least a bit of damage on that Void Ray. And nice. He's got so many Adepts, though, and Misaki realizes that Adept count is absolutely fearsome. I wouldn't mind a Baneling Nest. You're already deep in there. I think a Baneling Nest might be necessary, not to mention a Groove Spines upgrade. He can't actually afford Groove Spines, can he? He doesn't really have any spare gas. Misaki's going to pull back and try to build up to the next wave. And yeah, Baneling Nest, there we go. It's a little delayed, so the problem is that it's going to take so long to get that. If it was a bit earlier, I think the Banelings could be a big surprise.
Yeah, no, and the thing is, everything he has kind of sucks against Banes as well, right? The Adepts would have to split apart, then the Lings have a better time as well. A bit of splash on those Adepts, and maybe you give yourself a chance. But yeah, at this point, maybe just a bit too late.
Oracle's gonna see not a lot of drones coming out, not a lot of gases here. The Adepts are going across the map. Oh, does Nice not realize? He might not realize that this is actually such a big all-in round 2 from Misaki. Shade home, bro. Shade home.
Yep.
Oh. I mean, he might be able to just win the fight aggressively. It's just unnecessarily greedy, right?
And Lings and Adepts run past each other. Yeah, I feel like this is one of those situations where you kind of need to be yeah, like you say, it's just not necessary. And even if you trade out okay, like, you just want to be at home, because this is a lot of army supply from your opponent. This is nice. He actually sees the Banes morphing, so he's very aware of this ahead of time now as well. So now at least you know these Banes are coming through. 15 of them.
He's not pre-spreading.
No?
He's going to pre-spread a little bit here. These Adepts, I mean, you can shoot down some of them, but he's staying very clumped. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my. This is dangerous. Pulling into a tight corner. These Banelings, they could be massive. Pulling into a corner, a crazy move for Nice. Misaki. The Banelings need to get in there, man. The Banelings are getting some massive hits. Nice pulling into a corner, a crazy move. And Misaki says, mate, I've got explosives, dude. Volatile bursts all over those Adepts.
Wow.
And Misaki with a surprise game to tie up the series. GG.
Yeah, it kind of felt like Nice did all the things right until he just sort of didn't. he saw the Banes and he was almost like, oh, I actually don't have a good answer for this. So he has a couple sentries added in, but then only 2 force fields, and that's obviously just nowhere near enough. I mean, if he has like 4 or 5 sentries, you get 2 rounds of force fields off, you buy enough time, sure, but like 2 force fields, you buy yourself a few seconds, that just ain't good enough, so yeah.
Exactly. No, like I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh, I would never do this, like sentry reliance, because I know I'd mess it up. But I'm like, yeah, I've seen players do this. You know, you're like, no, I got 6 force fields. We can like full block them, kill a whole bunch of the Lings and Banes, whoop in a few more sentries, block them a second time. By that point, half my opponent's army's gone. You know, like, hey, we're actually good. But I think he had the numbers to just pre-spread. You know, have batteries, have your units spread out a little bit. It was interesting though because he was going charge and immortals, and for me, I was like, Robo Bay and Stalkers seems to be like a bit more of what I would focus on in that scenario, because you just want ranged units that can kind of fight with batteries healing them without, you know, getting just surrounded and blown up by Banes. And you want splash damage, and anti-light splash damage would be amazing, right? So it was a little bit weird. It felt like Nice got a little bit lost in the follow-up. Like he wasn't fully realizing, hey, you're just building more Hydraling and going. And then even when the Adepts came back and saw all the Banelings morphing, he still was just a little bit too slow to adapt to that. So definitely got a bit unconfident. Misaki steals a map. Now we're going to go on to Crimson Court, a map with a rich gas base up front. Very dangerous to take it. The sides of the map kind of cut off. I think for all intensive purposes, this plays as a reasonably standard map. And I think Nice will be happy to slow things down. Easy game 1. Map 2, he was far ahead. Let's not take any chances. Let's scout well. Let's stop and react. Misaki has not shown any willingness to play a macro game. There's no reason to think he's going to do it now.
No, Misaki's going to send it, absolutely, right? I mean, this has just been clearly his plan in ZVP. He just wants to just go be aggressive, and hey, it worked in game 2, right? So we'll see what Tricky has up his sleeve. As Nice, you want to play something standard, safe. Make sure you're not going to put yourself in any kind of trouble. Just give yourself the best possible shot at this one, so I can only imagine that is going to become the plan as we get game number 3 ready. In just a moment, we're just missing Nice from our lobby, and we'll be off and away into it, Pig.
Oh, man, I'm excited. I mean, Nice now finds a bit of pressure. This is the litmus test for what Nice is showing up this season. Are you going to be able to handle the pressure, mate? Because, you know, I don't think as Nice you're expecting to drop maps to Misaki. I think you're expecting to get a 2-0 here. You've lost a map, and this is where you got to kind of not get cocky, not get arrogant. Go, okay, made a mistake, clean it up. Let's go into the next game. Let's try and reset our mentality. Sometimes taking a minute break for a bathroom, this or that, or checking the replay quickly can help a player out there. So it's always advisable to do so. And yeah, I think Misaki, we've shown a Hydraling all in of 3 base. I think it was a little delayed, his attack. So I think if he wants to do that vein, I'd like to be a bit more Mio Micah style, where it hits just a bit of a sharper timing with the Hydras. On the other hand, if you want to go extremely all in, I mean, the classic is the Ling Flood with the drone drill, right?
Yeah.
If you can hide some drones, get them around the first Adept with a bunch of Zerglings, Adept comes into shade, he goes, oh, this base is kind of empty, looks back, drones have just drilled through the other Adept in the wall, Lings have flooded in, you can't wall off because the drones are blocking, and then by the time the Adept dies, the floodgates are open, the Lings are into your base, and it's a disaster from there. And that's a classic build order, which has always had a chance of catching a Protoss off guard. So we'll see if Misaki can pull out something like that.
Yep, possibilities for sure. And as we get ourselves into this momentarily, like we've been saying, just a couple of moments, we'll be heading our way in. And what would you like to see Nice do then if, like, you know, he's going to be against this GZ guy, or we're just going to play super standard, like Stargate, scout a lot?
Definitely Stargate, wall off, chrono the first Adept across the map. But even before that, the probe has to hang around and count the lava.
Yeah.
But like when that spawning pool finishes, do you have any lava saved up? Because if you do, that could be 8 Zerglings building, you know, the real little detailed signs of aggression. Hey, wait a second. Your gas is mining really early. Your link speed's starting literally the second your pool's finishing. That's not normal. Oh, you pulled guys off onto, you took your gas like 10, 15 seconds early. Oh, okay. I need to like just leave my gateway units at home and chrono 2 or 3 Adepts, you know, like just take safety precautions where needed. In game 1 on Dynasty, he did a great job of that. Like just Adept in wall, battery stalker, count around your base, make sure you're super safe. That's what you got to do. So keep doing that. Don't need to risk anything too crazy. If you really want to lean on the opponent, I don't mind core first, because then your Adepts get in your opponent's face and they can't hide anything if you go cyber core first Adept pressure.
Alright, well, we'll see what the choice is going to be. As the red Protoss in the upper right, we're expecting him to need to play safe. It is going to be Nice.
In the bottom left side with a nice transition into Banelings, you know, Misaki in the bottom left side of the map. I said, you know, the call for Banelings because I was like, well, this isn't working. But I didn't really think it would work. I was like, this might be the best of the bad options. You know, I was like, you can't really drone up from here. You know, you've got no creep, 3 queens. You got a low economy. Nice is going to just overwhelm you if you give him too much time. But it did work out. And I like the way that Misaki had that patience. A lot of players are like, I got to keep going, you know, and they just kind of run into the meat grinder. But having that kind of visual understanding to go, this fight is turning south. If I commit in here, it's 100% game over. Let's back off, look for another play. It was well executed. And a hatchery first here. Nice comes in with a gate scout. Sees that and just goes, okay, no worries. We're just playing a pretty chilled game so far. Gas and pool are at the standard timing. Nothing early there. And he's going to try and harass these minerals. We'll see how Misaki deals with that. So far, good drone micro. Very good drone micro. Yeah, really good details so far from Misaki.
Keeping those drones stacked, just keep the minerals mining as best as you possibly can. Don't let your opponent do too much of the disruption with this probe. And there's one drone that gets pushed to the other mineral patch. But yeah, as Cybercore comes down from Nice, he will get himself settled. And we wait to see why Misaki is going to take us. Because again, it really is, in my eyes, Misaki that's going to be the one changing things up, doing things a bit wildly. Definitely kind of making us question what the hell's going on in this game at some point. So kind of expecting that to come through is... For the moment, of course, it is, like you say, normal hatch timing at least, and that's, you know, even more than we've had in some of the games.
Yeah, no, this is a good start, you know, pretty solid. I do want to see the pulling off gas, though, if we're going to hit such a late timing. If you're going to hit that late, you can absolutely optimize that. You don't need to leave 3 workers on gas. So there we go, pulling off gas. Yeah, this is way more like a normal build. And this is it. If you throw 2 cheesy games out there and then you play a macro game, it's very surprising. Remember, what was I saying? There's no reason to think he's going to play a macro game. He's going to cheese again, scout for it, be safe, and your win is nice. But Misaki so far is showing all the signs of a just standard macro game. And that's exactly what you want to do. Purple gas is going down, though. Nice. Purple gas base. That gets scouted, and immediately Nice is going to be like, okay. Now that is a sign of greed. You want to be aggressive with your Adepts and Oracles and punish it. On the other hand, it's also a big sign of aggression. A lot of Zergs aren't going to be comfortable playing a standard game defending that purple gas base. They're going to use that to get a little bit of a boost and then shove with Ravagers or Hydras or something like that. So I would expect seeing that some sort of 40 to 50 drone all in to come out of Misaki, probably hitting us at about 6 minutes. Nice is going Void Ray again. So he really seems to feel like more safe when he's got the Void Ray, just as his bit of insurance. I like the Void Ray against the Ling Flood stuff. I don't like it so much against like the Queen Walks or the early Hydra pushes. But it seems like Nice is like, nah, this guy is Ling Floods, you know, that sort of stuff. I want that Void Ray for safety. We'll see how he navigates forwards. You just have to be wary because it's such an expensive unit. If you delay your gateways and your blink and stuff too long, you could end up kind of stuck in this position where you just don't have the meat, the basic units to actually defend the push when it comes.
Yep. No, having the basic is like, you know, actually just having that kind of like numbers kind of factor in your side is typically going to be very helpful. So imagine that will be a factor too. As we get settled in and just see where things are going to be heading for the next
Queen
couple
Walk.
moments.
I'm thinking Queen Walk.
Yeah.
I don't know if it will be, but there's not that many queens. But I think, you know, Roach Warrior, you can make a crazy amount of Ravagers off this because this is effectively 4 gas with these 3 gases because the purple counts as 2. Oracle only gets 1 drone so far. Oh, he goes back in for more. Nice, greedy. Takes a bit of damage, but does slow down the purple gas mining a little. And I would not be surprised to see Misaki Queen Walk. The thing is, because Nice took that base tucked away to the right, it's so much safer against this. And I don't know if Misaki's really been scouting at all. Like, in fact, he hasn't really. So I don't even know if he realizes, hey, there's no third base where you might think there is one. And he's getting ready to walk right now, you know? A few more Overlords are needed. And it's just, we're going to see Ravagers, Queens walking. It's a great push in general, but Nice knows about this. He's already got batteries building. The question is, what does he have on the ground to defend? He's only got 2 gates. Oh gosh, okay, he's got a 3rd gate coming. He needs Stalkers though. He needs actual fighting units. He's got like a ton of batteries and no actual army.
Yeah, you mentioned it, right? It's like you got a couple of Void Rays, but you need the meat, you need the beef, you need everything that's going to be there to kind of help you survive this and give the Void Rays a chance to do damage. His army is coming from Misaki. We're going to lose a bunch of drones to the Oracle as well, so A little bit of something there. The Queen's going to get onto these Void Rays for a couple of moments. Our battery's still coming up. Things on the Ravager, the Queen as well, all coming through. I'm just going to be having a couple more Stalkers warping in, but I mean, we are just going straight for the natural as well, because that's where you want to be, the heart of this army, before the, the numbers are there.
The Void Rays are going to overwhelm the Queens. He's got 3 Void Rays plus battery healing, and there's no transfuses because there's nothing. So the Void Rays can actually just beat these Queens and win the game. But Nice needs to go out and fight. There's no reason for him to sit back with his Void Rays. He's kind of microing his whole army as 1 right now, which is a little bit lazy. Like 4 Void Rays just wreck this. And yeah, it's too few Queens. If it was 5 or 6 Queens, maybe, but you know what? It was a calculation. Oh, are you going to be too light on ground units? Yeah, he's too light on ground units. Doesn't matter if you've got air superiority and not enough Queens to beat it. Oh, that battery overcharge the Adepts are holding. Nice. It's an alternate defense to what we were expecting, but it's perfect. That was exactly what you needed. I love that base on the right side.